So I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. My mind can see that I will achieve, because I do the things I should, to my brethren kind and good. So I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on to reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on. I won't stop. Now I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on. Whatever my mind can see that I will achieve, because I do the things I should, to my brethren kind of.
Oh, yes, my Straight Talk family. Good night, wherever you are in St. Kitts and Nevis and throughout the entire Caribbean region. Whenever you hear that theme song, you know it's time for another edition of Straight Talk, and time for me to bring you greetings, my Straight Talk family. I want to reach and touch all those in the Kittitian and Liburd diaspora. I say greetings to those who are logged on to www.zizonline.com on the World Wide Web. My Straight Dog family, there's some of you I know are in Africa, there's some in Asia, there's some of you in Europe, and there are a whole lot of you, I should say, all over North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. I can say good morning, and in some cases I will be at liberty to say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves, perhaps on a short vacation, or maybe, just maybe, on lockdown still, my Straight Talk family. You know, I want to send some birthday greetings to Jamiela. Yes, you're 21 again. Delcia, you've had your birthday yesterday. And all those who are celebrating today, we wish you a happy, happy birthday. And my Straight Dog family, we do know and do hope that you enjoyed yourselves. You know, in recent times, I've been reflecting on what's going on with us. I say us in St. Kitts Nevis, as it relates to really getting out and getting back to some level of normalcy, because we've been faced with this complexity. We've been faced with this pandemic for so long, and there is one way out. And what baffles me, though, is that we listen to the medical experts and we were quarantined. I myself enjoyed quarantine. I had to adjust. If I come tomorrow, I will have to be bound by the protocols and the quarantine again. But we only managed 44 cases, is it? My Straight Dog family? And every one of those cases were imported. They came from overseas, from the UK, from the US, and wherever they came from. And we had no deaths thus far. And we continue to say, thanks to Almighty God. So now we must reflect. Now we must ask ourselves. We must reflect on the fact, not the fiction, but the fact that for the last 12 months and or more, just over 12 months I should say, we have conducted ourselves in a manner as recommended by Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws and our Medical Chief of Staff, Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, who are both always in the forefront as well with the NAOC and our NEMA Director, Abia Samuel, and also Superintendent, I always forgot his name, Superintendent, I'll get his name shortly. But they have helped us. They have helped us to Superintendent Cromwell Henry, I got it now. But they have helped us, I say, to keep this virus to an extent under control. And we knew a long time ago, because our medical experts in particular are or have been and still are guided by the science. And I was part there in cabinet, for example, when they came to cabinet and make the recommendations. And the cabinet followed and still are following as far as I am advised. But since last year, for example, we knew about this.
At the beginning of this pandemic, as early as last March, April, I think the science tells us, or told us, and continue to inform us that the only way out of this pandemic is through vaccination. And so that's why we are recommending the vaccine to our locals. Now,
yes, we have been privy to that information, that advice, for a long time. The only way out of the pandemic is the vaccine. And what is this vaccine? CMO laws provided a very simple definition.
Vaccine is a substance used to stimulate the production of antibodies and provide immunity against one or several diseases.
Very simple definition. I will play it again for the students there.
Vaccine is a substance used to stimulate the production of antibodies and provide immunity against one or several diseases.
And we have received quite a lot of vaccines, several doses. We got the AstraZeneca First of all, remember from Dominica, we got some from France, and we gave some as well to Grenada. But what about the stock? We have learned as of a week ago or more, I don't know, we had this amount of vaccines in stock.
What we have is almost 21,600 doses in the refrigerators waiting for arms in which to place the vaccine doses.
That's a lot of vaccines. Let me see that total again.
What we have is almost 21,600 doses in the refrigerators waiting for arms in which to place the vaccine doses.
21,600 doses waiting for arms. And I was happy. I was very happy when our taxi driver Matthew encouraged as well his fellow taxi drivers in terms of taking the vaccine. My Shredog family. This was good.
For those, my fellow taxi drivers who can take the vaccine, I'm encouraging you all to take the vaccine if you can take it. Are you ready to take? I took mine already. I'm waiting to get the second shot. Can't talk. If you don't want yours, you can give it to me.
Yes, he has taken his vaccine and he's encouraged his fellow taxi drivers to do likewise. He's waiting on his second shot. And I too have taken my vaccine right here. And I'm waiting on my second shot sometime next week. That is due. But coming into the mix now is our democracy, our rights. And our rights seem to be clashing. And some of it, we understand why. Simple and straightforward politics. But in the Blaze media, sometime in 2014, in April 2014, and the Blaze Media is an American consulting media company founded in 2018 and based in Irving, Texas. And Kimberly Fletcher wrote in that media under the caption, wrote a column under the caption, and I quote, "What does democracy mean to me?" And she opined that, and I quote, "It means hope, it means believing in something greater than yourself." That means repeating. It means hope, it means believing in something greater than yourself. And many countries, St. Kitts and Nevis included, who are former colonies of Great Britain, came to realize the opposition of the oppression, I should say, of the monarchy, but also became aware of the failings of a democracy. It is, however, the combination of self-governance and representative leadership that is the secret to the success in every country, my Stray Dog family. And yes, the COVID-19 pandemic and dealing with it has demanded cooperation. We have learned how interdependent we are as countries in this world, big, large, and small. But the COVID-19, apart from demanding cooperation, it also requires shared sacrifice. And that's a very bitter pill, I know, for many of us to swallow, to shared sacrifice. The pandemic has demonstrated to all of us that our fates are intertwined. It has revealed that the person in front of us in the supermarket, in the line in the supermarket, if he or she doesn't have access to good health or to good health care, that's going to have an effect on our own health as Stray Dog family. But truth is, the debate regarding mandatory immunizations reflects the underlying conflict of individuals' right versus the public good. Proponents of compulsory vaccination obviously believe that improving and maintaining public health holds greater importance than preserving a person's individual right to control his or her body. As Straight Dog family, the pandemic continues to present this classic individual liberty, common good equation. And interestingly, Queen's Counsel Charles Wilkin gave us an example of the 5 rights that are clashed.
We all have rights. You have the right to decide what goes into your body, so TDC cannot force you to vaccinate. That's your right. TDC has the right to hire who it wants. That's TDC's right. The shareholders of TDC, the 2,674 people, have the right to have their hard-earned money protected. That's their right. The directors have the right to make the best decisions in the interests of the shareholders, because that is who they're responsible to. So, the government has the right to take such action as it considers fit, as determined by the cabinet and the parliament, to protect the interests of the country within the law. So that's 5 sets of rights we have there.
5 sets of rights outlined by Queen's Counsel Wilkin. And very, very interesting, my Straight Dog family. But he also reminded us of government's responsibility as well.
The government has the duty to act in the best interest of the country as a whole and to build the economy. So we have a set of rights, we have a set of responsibilities. Now, in exercise of its rights and duties, the government has decided to pursue option 2, that is to reach 7% vaccination in the population. And it is providing vaccine for to that end.
And yes, we still have vaccine in stock, and some people are trying to discourage others not to take that vaccine because they fear, they don't want our team unity administration to continue to do the job they're doing and doing well. And my Straight Dog family, that is sad in our country. But I listened to an interesting intervention as well by a businessman who had this to say.
But the real cost of this pandemic is it's not just the situation of people who are going through financial stress. It's a lot of other things. And, you know, it stresses me to know and understand that why is our minister not out there beating down cabinet's door to try to get financial support? An injection, yes, we talk about the injection of the vaccine, but an injection for finance. Businesses, taxi drivers, restaurant tour operators who are about to close down. We have a fund, hundreds of millions of dollars, CBI, that can be used to offer some sort of support. We need to use it, because if not, half of us are going to close down. And we're not asking for it for free. I called the bank told me I could get an unsecured loan for 18%. We have other banks offering loans for 9%. How ridiculous is that? Mr. Minister, if you can go to cabinet, jump up and down on that table and said to the finance people, bring us some relief. It is needed. We all know that. Come on. And we don't. And it's not for free. We don't want it for free. We know we're going to have to pay it back.
Well, I believe it's a fair request to ask for relief. And I believe as well, as you said, I believe you should not rather expect it to be free. But government ought to assist where it can assist. I know, for example, in other places, in the US, for example, there was this PPP, the Payroll Protection Plan. But government in St. Kitts and Nevis have provided a stimulus package to the tune of $120 million. And if government has to provide a loan, it has to be a bank or through a bank. If a bank is 9%, we don't know. One medium government can use and normally use is the development bank. But the development bank has provided low interest rates. I don't know if they can go below 9%. But of course, the businesses as well will have to verify their employment, provide financial statements to the government, and that in a sense can be the point of departure in terms of discussion of any sort of funding for any business or businesses in the Federation. But government has, it must be stated, provided funding for small businesses in particular. But these are some of the issues, my straight dog family, and we don't need to get sensational. We don't need to get emotional. Let us face the fact. And the fact is that was provided a long time ago, that the only way out is vaccinate some.
Beginning of this pandemic, as early as last March, April, I think the science tells us, or told us, and continue to inform us that the only way out of this pandemic is through vaccination. And so that's why we are recommending the vaccine to our locals. Now,
yes, and one more time, here on Straight Talk, we are recommending you get your vaccine. It's the only way out of this pandemic, my Straight Dog family. So let's be careful, because our rights, yes, are important, but we have to determine what is our right versus what's in the best public interest. Our rights cannot clash with the public good. As Benjamin Franklin once defined democracy best, when he said, democracy is two wolves and a lamb voting on what to have for lunch. Liberty is a well-armed lamb contesting the vote. Hear that? Democracy is two wolves and a lamb voting on what to have for lunch. And liberty is a well-armed lamb contesting the vote. My Straight Dog family, this is my little monologue for you tonight. This is my recommendation, my call to put the politics aside. Let us focus on country. Country above self is our motto. These are my words for you, and in the process, I recommend strongly again we all get vaccinated. It is 26 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour. I made a conscious effort to start as early as possible tonight. I tried to even start on the dot of 8. I fell short by a few minutes because I wanted to ensure that you, my Straight Dog family, will have time, enough time to make your contributions on this matter of rights and this matter of the vaccinations. Because, my Straight Dog family, it is time that we really get focused, get positive on ensuring we get back to normalcy as soon as possible. I'm going to open the lines, my Straight Dog family, and entertain your calls and your emails at this time. It is 27 past the 8 o'clock hour. I always like to implore you, though, that when I open the lines, which I'll do at any moment now, I anticipate that you will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned. Let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us ensure that in the things we say and do, they will all be beneficial to all concerned. And let us, in the process, make certain, my Straight Dog family, that we will strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. With that said, I go to the lines and say, caller, you are live.
Good evening, Honorable. Now, I like to open monologue with the vaccination and so on, but you miss out some behavior. Now, Patches, I down in Port Zante, and for 2 months, I say about 2 months, I tried call the police. I tried call the top brass. I call Mr. Samuels and all of them. Now, what I see was Friday night gone there. Friday night, they had about 3 or 4 DJ and a band. And about 1,500 people. Now, when you got those things open up like that, it's business as usual. You can't come and tell people, boy, go take a vaccination and he could go down Port Zante and dance and jam. No mask, nothing, all kind of thing. Them things can't be right. It could never be right. And they come and interfere with other people's business during the time they're down there and ready to fight you and all them kind of thing. You understand me? Who is the police who giving those permission? Who is the police that giving those permission? Who is in the UDC who is giving the okay for them keep them kind of function? You know, now I know I got sugar cake money, so I cannot get them kind of privilege. So I must remain suffering and become a nuisance by some rebels and so on. They break up my table, they do all kind of things to me. The last thing I lose down there is my phone. You understand me? And these things, I don't know how long they're going to continue. I don't know how long they're going to continue. But what I am saying to Mr. Samuels and all of them and the people them for the vaccine and etc., they need to take time out and come down there. Come down there and see what's going on. I can't understand why these guys are getting permission to do that. Are the hands in the people's pocket? Are the people's hands in their pocket or what? You understand me? Now how you gonna come and tell me you're gonna summons me down the road for not wearing a mask? And they're keeping a function, right? If you say that I hear the man there who in charge at the commission, the police for the same COVID people talking, he give so much and 100 people and all this and that and that. And he never come down for granted to see what's going on. You understand me? I call, eventually I call all of Mr. Adams and tell him and son, he said he gonna send people down there to look into it. You understand me? And this thing is wrong. What is going on wrong down there? Because you hear what happening in Anguilla, and now they're blaming people about coming in on the shores and coming in on the thing. You understand me? You don't know who have. You don't know who come over from Station on a boat. You don't know who come from Nevis on a boat. You don't know who come from Antigua on a boat. And what it is down in Port Zante. Because the Coast Guard them is not that active like how they're supposed to be. You know? So don't feel no way if we break out here solidly. It looks like they want some of us to death first before they do anything. And I appealing to you, Patrick, so you could talk to the Prime Minister and members of your cabinet and so on to look into this thing seriously. Look into it seriously because you're going to come a disaster in this country, you know. We don't suffer for a whole year. Well and good we have a good Prime Minister who tried to help out. But how much he could do? He can't do much. Money is limited. He got other responsibilities. You know, he have other responsibilities. He just can't get up on the thing. And then you hear some people gonna come on the radio and tell you, you should have saved your money. Don't care how much money you had saved. For a whole year, man, you will take that up from underneath you like nothing. And you know that. Anybody will know that. You know? So, tell my good friend, Mr. Dupont, tonight is not for him. Dr. Dupont, tonight ain't for him. Okay? So tell him he could go to sleep and rest himself. Good night, Patches. Good night to everybody in St. Kitts in the sound of my voice. Good night to the Prime Minister.
Good night, the People's King. And just for clarification, I'm not a member of the cabinet, right? But I know you wish I was there, but that's not a bad wish at all. I understand you, but the flouting of the protocols, the COVID protocols, I should say, ought to be looked at. And I know that there's normally permission granted for functions, and there are also certain conditions that have to be met. But let's go back to the lines. It's 8:34. Call you live.
Good night, Patches. Good night, Patches. You hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Okay. I am here to say I have already get my second shot last Friday, so I am vaccinated free now. I am all vaccinated down. So I will ask everyone to go out. I am 66 and I went out and I pull up my sleeve and I take my vaccine. Friday the gentleman was surprised to see that I didn't even move to get that second shot. He said, "You're not even moving." I said, "What must I do?" So I am here to say I've been in my house for over a year, from the 9th of March last year. As I said already, I can count the times that I went out of my house because I know of what happened to me on the 9th of March. So I asking everyone to go out. I'm pleading with them. Even my daughter, I'm asking her to go and have her vaccination. So
how are you feeling now?
Everybody, Hello?
How are you feeling now?
Oh, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I haven't My son said when he take his second one on Friday with me, he said he had a little headache, but he's over it now. He's over it. I think he was just kind of thinking about what they said, because they said the second shot does be a little painful. But he said he had a little headache, but I had nothing. So thank Jehovah for that. And
thank you.
Be safe, and enjoy your night, and make sure be safe going home. Okay? Have a blessed night.
You.
Bye.
Have a blessed night as well. My Straight Dog family, I think, if I get it right, is North or South Carolina. But yes, we go back to the lines. Caller. Okay. But yes, we're talking about the vaccination and our rights. And there's a raging debate regarding mandatory immunization, mandatory vaccine or vaccination. And this reflects, as I mentioned earlier, the conflict, the underlying conflict of our individual rights. And it brings to the fore a clash between such rights and the public goods, or the public good, I should say, right? The underlying conflict of individual rights versus the public good, right? The pandemic has presented this classic individual liberty, common good equation is how I put it. And at some stage, I will bring a legal luminary, right, so we can discuss this clash of rights by the Straight Dog family. And QC Wilkin gave us an example. It's something I found on social media very interesting perspective as well.
We all have rights. You have the right to decide what goes into your body, so TDC cannot force you to vaccinate. That's your right. TDC has the right to hire who it wants. That's TDC's right. The shareholders of TDC, the 2,674 people, have the right to have their hard-earned money protected. That's their right. The directors have the right to make the best decisions in the interests of the shareholders, because that is who they're responsible to. So, the government has the right to take such action as it considers fit, as determined by the cabinet and the parliament, to protect the interests of the country within the law. So that's 5 sets of rights we have here.
Yes, 5 sets of rights outlined by QC Wilkin. And we've heard of opening of the ports to cruise ships, and we must also have our views about that particular decision, and what exposure, if any, and how we ought to be protected as citizens, and particularly those who are a part of the tourism sector. Because it's very important that we guard ourselves and guard the country in terms of the protection of our people, my Straight Dog family. And we do have to, like I said, we do have to ensure, my Straight Dog family, that we, as the people, must be protected. It must be protected, I said, my Straight Dog family. There's the issue as well about our democracy. And yes, our democracy yes means a lot. It must mean a lot to us. It means hope, and it means, most of all, believing in something greater than ourselves. It's our country above ourselves. And that's what we ought to be concerned about. And in terms of putting our country above ourselves, my straight dog family, that is extremely important. As I said, we need to address that and ensure that we not only protect our country, and yes, we must protect ourselves as well, my straight dog family. It's now 90 minutes before the 9 o'clock hour, my straight dog family, and we are discussing the issue, the clash of our rights as it relates to the vaccinations and how best we should move forward as a country, and shouldn't we be encouraging each other as well of the importance of vaccination. And it's very important that we ensure that they remain important.
Vaccine is a substance used to stimulate the production of antibodies and provide immunity against one or several diseases.
Yes, very simple definition and very important. And we were warned about this long ago, or advised, I should say, not warned, but advised of the importance of ensuring that when we get the vaccines, we take them.
Beginning of this pandemic, as early as last March, April, I think the science tells us, or told us, and continue to inform us that the only way out of this pandemic is through vaccination. And so that's why we are recommending the vaccine to our locals. Now, in
terms of our stock, we do have vaccines in stock, vaccines in our refrigerators, and we need to get to that herd immunity. We are encouraging you, my straight dog family, we need to get to that herd immunity.
Is almost 21,600 doses in the refrigerators waiting for arms in which to place the vaccine doses.
Yes, and we also are hearing the cries. We're hearing the cries from the business. What do you think about this assistance that should be given to the businesses?
Of this pandemic is not just the situation of people who are going through financial stress. It's a lot of other things. And, you know, it stresses me to know and understand that why is our minister not out there beating down cabinet's door to try to get financial support? An injection, yes, we talk about the injection of the vaccine, but an injection for finance. Businesses, taxi drivers, restaurant tour operators who are about to close down. We have a fund, hundreds of millions of dollars, CBI, that can be used to offer some sort of support. We need to use it, because if not, half of us are going to close down. And we're not asking for it for free. I call the bank tell me I could get an unsecured loan for 18%. We have other banks offering loans for 9%. How ridiculous is that? Mr. Minister, if you can go to cabinet, jump up and down on that table and said to the finance people, bring us some relief. It is needed. We all know that. Come on.
What do you think, my straight dog family? What do you think about any assistance or more assistance because government has already provided assistance. What do you think about more assistance from government? Caller, you're live.
Good night to the Ambassador Ian Patches Liburd, representing us out there in the United Nations. You're doing a wonderful job. Patches?
Thank you, my brother. Good night.
Yes, man.
I'm trying.
No, Patches, this load of fake news and the media, that is one, preventing the people from not going out there to take the vaccine. Patches, when I listen to people, some people, right, who are supposed to be educated, and the things they talk about the vaccine, I don't want to Patches, but I am one so that if you suffer with a medical, you got medical problems, you got medical issues, and you cannot use certain medication because of whatever, right? I ain't forcing nobody to go out there and take the vaccine. I'm not agreeing with no government to go out there and force nobody to take the vaccine. I believe that that's supposed to be people's choice. You go take the vaccine because you see the situation out there in the whole world. When I listen to people like my good friend Nuts Lady, I'm saying somebody tells she the vaccine got in the Antichrist in the vaccine and all these kind of don't talk. I don't even believe she grandchildren, if she go to them, to she grandchildren and tell her them things, the grandchildren will believe that. And these are the things that you hear coming from some people more because they go up on this with their phone, they're studying nothing, they're researching nothing, they're finding nothing for themselves. Somebody just comes tell them something and they peddle it gone all around the place. And I believe that is a terrible situation. Look at Anguilla so close to us. Look at Antigua and other foreign countries like India and all those. The vaccine make in India. And look here the situation up there with them now. People dying, people can't go to school, people got to lock down again, and all these kind of ignorance. We don't want to do. The Federation has to lock down again. Parties don't want to go to that again. You know. So people, do what you are got to do to make the country safe. Because the corona killing more people, and if you take the vaccine, you get a little infection and you get a little side effect. Are you hearing the vaccine kill nobody yet? As soon as somebody gets the vaccine and they take the vaccine, they say the vaccine kill them. People got issues all the time. And this is the thing that the ignorant I don't like to hear. Even me one got the fake news got me stifle too. That is. Because when I hear this ignorance, that is, you know that a lot of these people, a lot of the kitchen, if we do overseas, them will first round going to take the vaccine if they live overseas, you know. But they're going to take it here because they are kind of fake news and ignorant things keep them away. Patches, the next thing again before I go. Patches, my friend them overseas calling me in New York, in different Canada, in England, all over, and ask me if we got a political crisis down here. Ask what the government in problem down here. Because every day, they hear, when they tune in and they tune into different radio stations, they hear a kind of argument down here, about the Prime Minister, both the opposition, both the PAM, the Labour, and all kind of thing. So, Patrice, let me tell you something, man. I believe that if you got something to say good about your country and you love your country, I do not believe you're supposed to go up on the radio called lambast the government or lambast whosoever to bring down the government or nothing. I know the individual who does spend the different way to talk show. I know he getting a lot of things from a former minister government. A lot of things is piling up in his head and he going from anywhere to talk, you know, that kind of thing. Up to this afternoon when I home, somebody from New York called and tell me the same thing. Politics for going in the country, the government don't have any big problem. I said, no, nothing like that. We vote for unity and we're going to stick with unity. And if anything happen in the next 5 years coming up to the 5 years, When the people will make a decision because party don't vote. Party don't vote. If people vote, they're going to make next vote for whoever candidate they put up in the constituency to vote for. Parties, anyway, you have a wonderful night. God bless.
Have a wonderful night as well, my brother Politics. Yes, you said you don't agree with the force, but you know, in the bastion of democracy called the US, as it's called, the bastion of democracy, over 200 million have been vaccinated. I encourage our people to do the same. Call your life.
Yes. Good evening, Honorable Patis. I'm still waiting on the
Good evening,
thing.
my dear.
Yes, I'm all right. Are you all right too? Yeah.
I'm
The
wonderful.
people
God's been
is
good.
waiting for the sub-world pay because they're saying that if we could send the money at St. Vincent, St. Lucia, maybe, they want them one. And they're going to march to get the sub-world pay. That they could pay the bills and pay the bank and everything. And plus of it, we're looking at that the house is them, that people live in the house is them, and they want the money that they could pay for the houses. And watching at the railway up the industrial side by TDC, they're fixing up the welding up the black same that they could do, Monsieur Jane. And good night to my friend in town who always meddle me. Patches, I want some money to fix up a business because you got a lot of money. You can't fool me. And one politician say that he got more than $1 million so he could done and resign. And looking at the road in Old Webber, looking good, but the people they must take the chance, the time, running on the road. And you have a good night. If I get back, I go back. If people don't want ready to take the vaccine, nobody's supposed to force them to take the vaccine. You take your chance. And God, it's got your there and the sub-world pay. So please to hurry up to the Donnies. See you.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Who wrote those questions for tonight?
I write them.
Tell me the truth. Sure.
I write them. I want to.
How many you wrote?
Nobody tell me no. But the people they ran up to Friday saying about the money they went by the bank to look for the self-work pay and no money deal. And if we could send that money to St. Vincent or wherever, they want the money. But I write them. I want the journalist.
The last thing you told me.
Writing.
Oh, you're a journalist?
Yeah, I'm a journalist to write my writing. What does this mean? And I want the houses to make it, up pan maybe. Because the people want house to live in it too, not just got them locked down. See you.
Okay.
You ain't gonna give me the
Okay, my friend. Well, okay, it's 6 before 9 o'clock. My mind is on my brother Culture, and I hope he's all right. Joan, if you're listening, give Culture my regards. Let's go back to the lines. Call you live. Hello, caller. Caller. Yeah, just turn the equipment down.
Boogie son ng that for me. Hey, Patches.
My brother.
Yes, my brother. You know, think it's have the most scientists and the most doctors in the world?
That's true?
Yeah, because I had my vaccine already.
Okay.
And everybody has said this, I said that. You understand what I'm saying?
And you're...
I went for my vaccine.
And you're okay?
Because I'm not... what is the boss?
You got your vaccine and you're okay?
It's me okay, but the only thing the vaccine done for me is to make me eat more. What are you laughing for? What is the truth? We
Don't
have
be
more
appetite.
scientists and doctors in the whole world. But I wish I could give me every
Well,
day.
what you think they're encouraging people, or
I don't
discouraging
try
people
to
rather?
because I tell them, boy, go take the vaccine.
Uh-huh.
But this is not a joke. If
You're
anybody
right.
know me, I'm from Sabreton village. You hear what me tell you?
Right.
Them a tell me I only take water. So if I take water, then that's scientist, isn't it?
Right, right.
Huh? The boss, let me
You're
tell you
correct, my
something.
brother.
Let me tell you something, the boss. Are you doing a great, great job? I'm very happy about it. You can give me every week.
No, you only want 2 doses, man.
Boy, that is bad. Hey, let me tell you, this is not a political issue. This is saving our country.
I agree
Anyhow,
with you.
I'm very happy to have my vaccine, and I wish I could have get it every day instead of every week. I don't understand.
Okay.
Look at Anguilla. This is mine here. Look at Anguilla. Anyhow, I know somebody want to come in.
Thanks a lot, my brother, for your input. And
How
stay
it sound
safe.
to you?
Stay safe. Yes, very good, man. Sound advice. Sound advice. Okay, we've heard from Tom. Tom from Stapleton, encouraging us to go take our vaccine. We go back to the lines. Call you live.
Yes, good night, namesake.
Namesake, good night. How are you doing?
Yeah, I greet you in the name of the Lord Jesus, man. Don't take on the people. I always learn that when you hear people talking, right now in Sinkers and Nevis, we used to have Indian and cowboy, but right now we got more chief and we're Indian. And that's why you see we have so much scientists. And Tom was telling you a while ago, and he's so right. We got more scientists in Sinkers and Nevis right now telling people about vaccine. But when we were asking for vaccine, none of them in Sinkers and Nevis could have come forth with a vaccine as much as they're scientists now. But I'm saying to the people of Sinkers, if they know what's good for them, they go and take the vaccine, because if anything, God forbid, if anything got to happen in Sinkers and we start to lose lives, they got to blame themselves. Because they can't even blame the people who telling them, don't take vaccine because this and that will happen. We got to safeguard ourselves. We must not be like the 5 foolish virgins. We must be like the 5 wise and go and do what is right to protect yourself and your children and your grandchildren. Because nobody can feel pain for you but you. Sometimes I hear people say, oh, I feel your pain. You can't feel my pain. You can only tell me, boy, I think I know how you feel. But you cannot feel the pain that I'm feeling if I tell you about it. So, Patrice, I want to say to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, do what is right, take the vaccine, and make sure that they protect themselves and their family. Because only you can do it. Me could only talk. I can't make nobody do. But I'm saying to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, be wise, unionize, take your vaccine to save yourself. You could live maybe the next 10 years longer, 20 years longer, do the thing that is right. But there's one more thing I want to say concerning the buses that run from Baker's Corner to Molyneux and those that goes to Sadlers. Now, we are saying right now that if we got to go back up to the bus terminal and the other buses that go down to the bay, it's not coming, to me, it don't make any sense, because we're going back to the same thing that we've been talking about. And I'm saying that the people of this country we need to come together and do the best thing. You guys went out and built that bus terminal for the buses so that we can come off the road and do something proper and be in a proper place. Even though it's not been quite finished, as they say, some kind of group was supposed to go over, a couple of buses. I haven't seen that yet, but so far so good. I see they already cut and do the fixing up of the turning around where you're going to come down in the line to line up. And I want to say to the people and to the police department, make sure whenever we leave from here to go back up in the bus terminal, all those buses apply to the law. Otherwise, it don't make no sense. So if they're going to put a fine, they need to do something which is very serious. Either $500 if they kept you anywhere between here and there, picking up people, you need a fine. Otherwise, we ain't going to stop. Seem like we like force in order for us to do what is right. So if that is what it takes, the police, them need to do their job. This is not time to be friendly with anybody. You do what you're supposed to do, and then we either apply by it or we come out the race. Have a good night. May God bless you.
God bless you as well, my dear brother. And it's very strange that the terminal been functioning for 4 years, and all of a sudden there's so many issues with that terminal. And I'm just thinking about that from a distance, because in fact it was the same bus drivers who made their input as it relates to how the operationalization, I should say, of the bus terminal. I know there's always an issue, though, about buses getting out of the line. They lined up, and that was their demand. But I'm sure that will be sorted out. In terms of the severance payment as well, I am aware that the government has capitalized the fund, has injected money into the severance payment fund. I'm also aware that a lot of the employers were not actually paying into the fund, and that is illegal. It's against the law, and ought to have been penalized wherever these employees are or were. Right? The other thing, and it's important to note as well in terms of the severance payment that had an issue way back in 2014 under the former administration, and the then Minister of Labour, Patrice Nisbet, had this today to say about the sustainability of that fund. Here's what he said.
Critical is the question is how would this be funded? Critical. And the question is always whether this is sustainable. We have looked at the severance payment fund, and what we have said. We have said presently the employers, they contribute 1% into the fund. The workers, they don't contribute. And out of the severance payment fund, which will be restructured, has to be restructured. It has to become an investment type fund. And we have asked the ILO for some expertise in this area to assist us in the reconstituting of that particular fund so as to ensure that this is in fact a sustainable initiative of the government.
So, you've heard it back then. The sustainability fund was never addressed by the outgoing administration and is now being addressed by the team unity administration. Caller, you're live.
Yeah, Patrick. Because I was talking about the severance pay fund and money going to this $1 million going to St. Vincent. Patrick, those is the only thing that, you know, these people here on the road, and they take it in the head and they come on the radio with it. They don't have nothing right out. Anybody call anything right out and so and talking like that. Like they don't know what they're saying. When you got something right out, you proper. I right here right now on my job, and me not right out patches. And I saying what I got to say, Papa. So, Venezuela, who is so much a difficult crisis right now. And Venezuela, people know that Venezuela only in the crisis because a sanction from America and because of whatever government they got, you know. And then the crisis because of that. But when Venezuela could support the small Caribbean country in the Caribbean, Venezuela could support them. And Venezuela sent a shipment of things down to
St. Vincent. So I don't see people problem with the government sending $1 million, sending aid, or do whatever they send to things. All of us is brothers and sisters. But parties you see that they pick up the garbage and they lay it out. And that is what they got them out there feeding them with. Give them the garbage and feed them with the garbage. They go up on the job site, they pick up all the nonsense, people tell them whatever say, and they come back with the peddlers talk and the nonsense. Man, it's tell my big people and got children. Them are why I teach our children. And that lady, she got some educated children, you know. She got some educated children, such as, and I believe she know better. Okay. So ignorant sometimes, like they don't know better. I'm agree that everybody can't come and and express themselves. If I don't want to do it good. But I got to that common sense and know that these things, what people tell you, let the company where they say to themselves. I saw that when I listen to a program, this man that go to the radio station, to a business place every morning, and say all kind of negative thing about the Prime Minister. And the host of the program, go say all this man say about the Prime Minister. Say he's supporting the Prime Minister so good, and supporting the Prime Minister so bad, something, right? And this man, this guy will come into the program, he ain't have no use for the government, he ain't have no use for neither Labour, nor PAM, PLP, or whatever. He ain't have nothing good to say about them. And he's a Labour. And he have nothing good to say about the government and nothing patches. And this man who hosts this program every day come on and say, this man say, that man say, this say, and that say. Let him man come on and defend himself and talk with himself, just look at me, culture and other people come on and talk with themselves. But the culture, good night. I want to wish you all the best, man. And I know you will be back. May God bless this program, Straight Talk, patches only here we get the truth. And we get the right thing. But then have a good night too. Patches, you have a wonderful night again. God bless. And God bless the Federation of Think It Nevis.
Have a wonderful night, my dear brother. Let's go straight back to the lines. Call your live.
Patches.
Hello, caller.
Yeah.
So.
Listen me carefully. When you go to a doctor, right? And the doctor prescribes you for injection, do you ask what type of injection you're getting?
You can.
You can, but does we do that?
Well, a good doctor would normally tell you.
Yes,
give you an injection against what? So, yeah.
I've been to doctors and they say, I'm going to give you an injection. And I never one time ask them what kind of injection they're giving me.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay.
I going for a vaccine, they tell me why for. So you see how much scientists we have?
Okay, I got you.
No, I'm serious about it. You know why?
Yes, I understand you.
Yeah, because I mean, I've been to doctors many times and I don't even know what kind of injection they give me. You telling me you give me the vaccine and you're telling me what it's for. And then we get so stupid. You understand me, the boss?
I've got you loud and clear, my brother. Okay? You understand? We take you. Okay, that's my brother. I'm very outspoken, very straightforward. And we respect the individual rights, you know. You know, in one corner you have those who are of the view that the public good must take precedent. The other corner, we have the individuals who are strong about protecting their rights. But when it comes to the public good, then what should take precedent is a question anyone should ask, and one believes that the answer is straightforward, because it takes away, right? If you look at the Health Act itself, it's the kids, it takes away the individual's right to choose their own health care in terms of crises like this one, the COVID pandemic. And it gives that right to the government to protect the public interest. That's my view, my straight dog family. But as we discuss the issue, yes, you'll have our differences in terms of the rights, and someone made mention as well, as the caller before, our last caller, the criticisms that's going on about monies sent to St. Vincent and the Grenadines in a time like this, a time of crisis. I believe it's really unconscionable to criticize the support given by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis to brothers and sisters who are suffering in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. To even criticize that, it's unconscionable, and I never wanted to even speak about it, because it'll give some credence to what they are saying, my straight dog family. But everyone is entitled to their view, and yes, but at all times here on Straight Talk, recommend that we respect each other's view, but we can totally reject it, or we can refuse to accept it. But they are entitled to their view, but their views, like I said, my straight dog family. It's now 13 past the 9 o'clock hour. I go straight back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Thank you, Patches, for having me. Patches, and to all people who are listening to this talk show tonight, let me speak on St. Vincent. Listen, the government did, the Prime Minister did a wonderful thing to contribute whatever he contributed to St. Vincent. For those who criticize, they are heartless. Heartless. Because most of the Caribbean islands, they have volcanoes and other disasters that happen in those regions. What if it was St. Kitts who was in that predicament? Who would stand up and criticize if another island or wherever help comes from to criticize? This is a Samaritan, a good gesture, okay? What goes around comes around. For those who criticize, whatever was given, shame on them. Damn shame on them. They have no class. Their heart is hard and black. I am disgusted to hear anyone will come up with that suggestion or decision. Heartless people. You got to learn to give. It's better to give than to receive, and I'm a living proof of that. Okay? So, those who do it, just say to themselves, I'm sorry. Just sorry to yourself to say that, think that, and I mean, I can't even find words to really criticize such a people who will do these things. Listen, the Prime Minister, you did a wonderful thing. Okay? What goes around comes around. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Well said. To the point as well, my straight dog family. I'll take this message, my straight dog family, or I'll go back to the lines at 16 past the 9 o'clock hour. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Yes, caller, you're live.
Yeah, man. How are you? Good evening, man.
I'm peaceful. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. I just want to, follow up with that caller right there that was chanting down those people who don't want to give 10%. For me personally, man, I don't know what to say about Sinkis and Nevis people anymore. Until when some people start dying from COVID virus down there, or until when a big disaster hit them, then I hope they get it done, man. For those people who think that they could criticize the Prime Minister for giving, assistance to St. Vincent, we'll be on to them, man. But, Sinkis and Nevis, you all got a good Prime Minister and a good cabinet there working for the people. But there's a lot of persons there from get-go. They decided they was going to undermine the government. And they see this COVID virus stuff as an opportunity to gain some political points. But they gotta be more, patriotic than that, man. You see what happened in Angola? It might happen in Sinkis and Nevis. The scientists already say the vaccination is safe. Me, I'm living proof that I already took my second dose, Pfizer, and I'm good so far. And I have to make a personal decision, and I make my personal decision based on advice from doctors, people who's in the medical field, people who went to school to study medicine. And there's two prominent doctors down there in Sinkis and Nevis, Dr. Sebastian and Dr. Martin. And every time I listen to them, I hear them say it's good to take the vaccine. But there's people right there around them who want to undermine and throw a monkey wrench in the program. But when the separation comes down, everybody in the Federation of Sinkis and Nevis can suffer. If they don't want to push their own country and to get their own economy up and going, that's on them. This is up to the people now. The government already did their part. And for those who just have their hands out and just keep wanting help and wanting, the people down in Sinkis and Nevis, they don't want to work, man. They're lazy, bro. They're sitting there and they just want from the government. The government is hardly collecting any monies in. They already got such a great stimulus package. Right now, the people of Sinkis and Nevis need to decide what they want for their own country. And they have to make educated decisions. This is not up to the government. The power is in the people, always been. And if they don't exercise their common sense, Sinkis and Nevis and the government, they might fail. And this is what people are waiting for. They're waiting for the government to fail. But those persons who say that they love their country so much, they should be happy to see a government survive and succeed. Because if the government don't succeed, the country won't. So I'm sitting and watching and waiting. I want to see what's going to happen to Sinkis and Nevis in the near future. But I wish my own country the best of luck, man. That's my contribution for the night.
Sound contribution, my brother. Ask not what the country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And that, my straight dog family, you're so correct. There's some people who just want the government to fail. Imagine that. Call you live. Hello, caller?
Yes, good evening, Pettis. The money is taxpayer money, He ain't take that out of his pocket. People need food and everything. In saying case that they could get the vaccine, your antibody have to strengthen up that you could get that vaccine, not just getting the vaccine on empty belly. Have a good night. I wish the best for Sinkis and Nevis, but it's taxpayer money. He money out the pocket for you.
Thank you very much. You're so correct. Well, it's taxpayers' money, but we have to help our brothers. Call you live.
Good night, Patrick. This is Dumpling. Patrick.
Is this Lydia Manners?
Dumpling Manners.
Good to
Dumpling Lydia Veronica Manners.
Good to hear you.
Patrick, the call before Casindo. The man talking the right thing, you know, Patrick. The man talking to it. A lot of them want to see the government fall. I don't know what really have to send its people. Eh? I don't know what happened to them. That is I had a pen in my hand. And I couldn't tell. I get to put on certain things. I could not get to put on my glasses and all them things. I this pen in my hand. Going up behind my ear, in my back. From the time I take the vaccine, Patrick, the next day, I could stretch out my hand to put on my glasses. I used to put on my name on the glasses. And now, since I took the vaccine, I can use my right hand. Whatever, Patrick. And I don't know what to these people with this blood vaccine, gongongi, clad, and all the kind of thing. I don't know what happened to them. Anyway, that is about another issue. Patrick, my son didn't go up any single thing for the house. My daughter Nadia went, and she never got none in the first round. I said, Nadia, if it's the second round, I won't sign with you. Me and she saying, when they call for the house, they said, me age, I can't get the house. My daughter Amish went and then they start to check my boy land. And it's done purposely land since 2000. Since 2009, Amish purposely land. Leon went up here with me to sign the paper. Leon name never deal. I don't know how to protect the boy land. And everyone give back the boy his land, telling him what they're going to give him back land. Since 2018, give the boy his land. Every minute the boy will ask him, he don't pay for his land. Whoever takes the boy land, give the boy his land. He ain't sign the paper. And if he did go up NSC and sign the paper, that would have been a way to take his land. You understand? Because his name would have. The someone denied when you look, they went to lie and said, no, his name may not deal. His name may not be for a point garden. The boy don't take his land to the boy land. And then Mr. Mel come, he tell me, boy, he's going to get back to land, he'll get back. When they take the boy land from the beginning, sir, when they do it, sir, his name may not take any book. He ain't saying for nothing. It's me and me two daughters. The boy here, every minute the boy, every minute my son call me. Mommy, mine, you're on the radio saying this and you're saying that. If me government, yes, I love me government and I begin them up. Hey, Mr. Harris taking your land. And Mr. Harris ain't to see with that. But I go to Mr. Harris and tell him, look through it for me. Because Leon needs back his land. Because he got foreigners from here in Jamaica under the house and land. When I want to say he's born here, his grandfather cut here with bill. His mother dropped soda, his grandmother dropped soda and all kind of things. I couldn't take it on. I went up a time and said, I tell water, boy, look like the waterman, them disappointing me. When I go on that street, I say, water! And every minute I go, water! So I just need the bucket of need was here, so that's it for me. Meaning that. And I went and I went up 40 steps, so I go walk. And then I leave from there, and I went to hospital, and me and one of the workers had a little problem, and she was moving the electric light. But all I want them to do, sort out this thing with my son. Please, I'm going to make an appointment to see the Prime Minister. That is going to leave the Prime Minister afternoon. They're going to let you see, do the vaccine over the country. He ain't doing no vaccine. He might name Dr. Harris. They're here in the field here. Nobody here doing vaccine. They're saying about Timothy vaccine and Timothy forcing people. I don't hear to work like them have no touches. Touches, this is dumpling. Oh God, love you. What are you doing? Love you.
I'm doing wonderful, Dumpling.
Your friend called me tonight, Janet. She told me she listening here loud and clear in Sandy Ground in St. Martin. See you.
Okay.
Bye. Come home.
Bye-bye.
They want to see you. The people of Newton want to see you. Please tell them to me, Patrice. Solve the problem for me with Leon. Give back Leon Hilano.
Okay.
Foreigners got Guyanese, Jamaican, African, all kind of people. Leon from here. I'm going to my Prime Minister. My Prime Minister will listen to me. Patrice, see you. Love you. And
have a nice night.
Don't care whether they say we ain't going to fall. If we just, if the rest of them want gone, whoever come in Central Court for PLP are voting for them. Me dumpling. Me dumpling will vote for PLP. You understand me, so? And I'm talking now. I want the whole world to hear me. If the election come round and the minister who won for Central last year in two, I am not going to vote for him. Who want to make me abuse me and say, oh, dumpling dangerous, dumpling this and that. Patches is hurting if I come on the radio and talk from the beginning with America. They tell you already about it, you know. But Patches later for that. Whoever come in Central last year, even if they won by themselves, I voted for them. If Nital come, I will join Nital 100%. Me dumpling, because I'm from Westbourne, pick up your alley, see you. This is dumpling, say that out of your mouth. See you.
See you, Dumpling. Take care. And I'm gonna look into my brother's Zigbal issue. I thought that land issue was solved, you know. I thought he got land elsewhere, so that's a surprise to me. But Zigbal, hold the faith. We get that land sorted out for you. Caller, you're live.
My Honorable Minister Ian Patrick, a pleasant good night to you.
Good night to you, my dear Sandra.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. First time I'm calling in. I wouldn't be long, but it's something after this wake-up call with St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I have a vision of a plan for my country. And I rather to talk with you off here for you to get it where it's supposed to go for me. I wouldn't be the one to maybe, go to the Prime Minister or whoever, but as long as I put it to you, from there we're going to see where we're going. I just have a plan for my country. I just want to add something good with a vision what I had after St. Vincent with that volcano of blood patches is a wake-up call. And I'm glad I called in tonight because I want to free my chest and get it out there. I want to talk to you about it. So when you finish on the air, I want you to call me.
Okay, I will. How is Angel?
Well, she went to a meeting. She's not home at the moment, but I want to say something on the air. I'm not living in my constituency anymore.
Why?
It's too much. I won't talk it on the air. And I'm in number 8.
Ah.
Yes. I wouldn't say we are in number 8, and the number 8 is very huge. Yeah, but I will talk to you in person.
I'll talk to you as well, my dear.
Yeah, because after this volcano blood patches, we need a plan for us here. And something struck me and woke me up the other morning with it. And I said, I'm going to listen in, sometimes I put on the radio to tune in, and I can't get in. I say, yeah, I'm going to call in tonight. So, yeah, we need to get something done with us because we don't know what's going to happen. And who out there saying whatever the Prime Minister do, we give him money, they need to stop it. Nobody don't know what the next month told. A lot of people planning for this and planning for that. We better pray. We all better pray. And I want to say something so the ear could hear. I think St. Kitts, Nevis need to go on a fast. call me off the ear, Patches.
Okay.
You want me to give you my number?
I've got your number. I'll call you.
Yeah, call me off. I love you. I'm going to listen you off the ear, okay? Bye.
Okay, my dear. Good to hear you. Let's go back to the lines. Call you live.
Yeah, Patrick, good night again. Patrick, I'm so agree with that overseas caller talking about that bringing down the country just because politics. Patrick, politics got it time, and politics will be always there. Let's like me. But when a serious situation come around, Patrick, we got to take our country serious. We got to take our people serious. It's just like when the pandemic come on first to the whole world, the Prime Minister do what he got to do, shut down the country. A lot of people criticize him because he shut down the country and say all kind of manner of things. Even a lady call in, say all kind of thing, and then the Prime Minister tried to assist her how he could assist her. And she went different places and still lambaste the Prime Minister and say all kind of negative things. Parties do what our people want in this country. We want an outbreak, or we want the country to be normal, that people could go out and work and do what they got to do. Parties, I kind of agree with the Rockefeller now, with the situation now for Dante. Because if they could keep these events and close up to one another and drinking, I believe that the school should allow people to go in the park and watch football too. And I believe that because some of these football team are losing, because they have the supporters behind them. I'm not going to talk about it. I don't know if it comes from FIFA, I come from the Football Association or whatever, but I see a lot, even now on the strip. You see how kind of event going on, people drinking their on a mask, no social distance. When you're watching football, you could go social distance, you could allow 300 people now to go in the park. Because the park big. Okay. And you could got the police, them control the security, controlling the social distance in the park. But I don't know because I see it happening overseas, because up to the night, I was watching a match, I think it was in Europe, and you see that the stadium, big stadium, nobody in there, nobody at all around. So I don't know if they're adapting that. But I believe that since these events coming on, like these DJ keeping music and keeping this and keeping alcohol, and nobody keeping a social distance, the couple of people going to talk too. Any patches? I want to thank God for the Federation of Stinkers and Nevis, where I live into. And I want to thank God for the good people of this country who caused a unity government to be there. And I just hope they continue to keep focus on a unity government. And those who, as ministers in unity government, who elect, I want to send a message to them. 2015, that is where the people call. 2015, 2014, that is where the people call for. And we want to remain that. Whether you're PAM, Labour, CCM, PLP, or whatever, people is looking for a unity government in 2025. And if it ain't come that way, a brand new political party who is there now, that will take all 8 seats in government. You understand? Because anybody could lead as far as they're concerned. Anybody could lead. Because, as I said again, people don't vote for, party don't go to vote. Political party don't go to vote. It's the people, individual people go to vote. And they vote of a candidate of the choice. Patches again, God bless the Federation of Stinkers and Nevis. Good night, Susie, I'm sure you're listening to me. And good night to all my fans, them who in the state to call me every day and uplift me. Blessed.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. That's what Straight Talk is all about. Let's go back to the lines. Call your live. Hello, caller.
Patrick.
My dear brother John.
Good night. I call you to talk to you, right?
Thank you.
Now, I sit down on my bed. I was laying down. And when I heard the lady talk, Patrick, we are in the last and closing days of time, Patrick. And the Bible says man's heart are deceitful and desperately wicked. Now here, the Bible says we are our brother's keeper. I can say it again. When Cain killed his brother, Abel's blood was crying out for vengeance. And when God asked Cain, where is thy brother? Cain was out, am I my brother's keeper? Listen here, Mr. Patrick. When we gonna get love for one another, Mr. Patrick, sometimes we come on the air and we talk all kind of negative thing, all kind of rubbish. And people don't know God, listen to whatever we do, you have to give an account for it. So now, in Psalm say, God judges the righteous, but the anger with the wicked every day. Let me tell you something, you know. The word of God says, be kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another. God say, giving a good thing, so God say, God loves that cheerful giver. The word of God tell you it's God make you to get wealth. And we think God give you wealth to look after your fellow man. So when we hear people, just as the lady come on here and she talking about the money, taxpayers' money. But let me tell you something, you see. And I'm going to say it. Every living thing a man got on the face of the earth, Patrick, he had to left him right here. The Bible says, empty hand will come out of our mother's womb, and empty hand will return. We are here to look after one another. And I'm saying, on my bed right now, I'm saying, God help us in St. Kitts Nevis. And I'm going to say it, you know, God is not going, here I thought I can say this, God send the rain and the unjust and the just. He turned back say, God will not destroy the righteous with the wicked. And God is a mouthful for God, you know. When God sent Jonah to Nineveh, Jonah didn't went to know. Jonah went one way. And God take a fish to send in Nineveh shore. And when Jonah went to Nineveh, Jonah started to say, in 40 days, Nineveh shall be overthrown. This is the last thing I'm going to say. From the king down to the himself, the animal fast, that did not eat nothing. Mr. Patrick, when we are going to learn, when God put in here, but listen here, I am sorry, because who believe they're going to escape? God tell you, he tell Moses, I'm going to put this blood on every household. And when they get the angel come around, when I see the blood, I will pass over you. Mr. Patrick, good night and have a pleasant night rest.
Thanks to you. Have a pleasant night rest as well. We go straight back to the lines. Call you live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller?
Good night.
Good night.
Hi, Dumpling, I hear you. Mr. Liburd, because the Prime Minister gives St. Vincent money, he must take the rest and back it out to them. Nothing goes so. We'll soon go hurricane. So who can help us? The money is supposed to be there. Who got taxi and who got taxi? 3 and 4 taxi. They should have had the money and nobody come on to say, where is the man who say we just talk long and always a laugh? He say he has so much things to say. He can't call in. See you.
Have yourself a good night. We go straight back to the lines. Call you live.
What is a pleasant good evening to you. How are you?
I am peaceful. That sounds like my dimple lady. And how are you?
I'm fine, I'm fine.
Good to hear you.
Yeah. What is, let me tell you something, you hear me? Everybody who you see believe that they can tax the Prime Minister is grudge. They grudge. More he do, more blessing he get, and that's what they grudge him for. Mr. Prime Minister, keep on doing what you're doing. And you know what happened to we? We like too much on news. Every time they hear the fake news out there, they run pan the ear with it. If you pay less attention, I think they will get tired, because when you listen, the type of people them what out there with the fake news, you really want to know if something really wrong with them there. We listen too much fake news and everything we hear, we run on top the radio with it and what's not. This the Prime Minister. Everybody's thinking about why they in the vaccine, why they in the vaccine. They got a lot of things out there they might use, and then I ask why they in it. Like the man them, they want Viagra. They know why they in it. They're questioning that. They go and they take it because they want help. The woman them, they walk a boy more load of things to turn the color. They laugh and just make them black and they want turn white. They don't ask why be in that. But the Prime Minister vaccine, that been going full speed, like he make the vaccine. So that is what have them. The next thing, I would like Mr. Hamilton, my villager, to deal with that full speed, can't wait. Doctor dear. Every minute in the courts, filing case, when you look to hear them, the case drop. I think Mr. Hamilton need to deal with him. He wants fixing, he forcing, as the leader used to tell the Prime Minister, wait for turn, and he wait for turn, and just what he is, a Prime Minister. He need to wait for turn, and see what he's going to get. Hamilton needs to do something with him. I never met a man hungry for power more. My God.
Seem to have lost that caller. Let's go back to the lines. This message reads, my straight dog family, Ambassador, good evening. Shame, shame, shame. I listened to a tourism forum on Facebook, and I could not believe what I was hearing. A solo business owner was asking the Minister for government handouts. He went as far as to tell the Minister to jump up on the table and bawl out. The shame was when the minister, without any water in his mouth, told him the country broke patches. I have no proof, but if I was a betting man, I would bet he owes utilities and social security for his workers. Patches, the time is now for government to start arresting company owners who have taken out benefits from their workers and have not paid it in. There is a word for such moves. It begins with TH and ends with EF. God bless. And you are outperforming the man you replaced already, my straight dog family. It's now 14 before the 10 o'clock hour. As we go back to the lines, caller, you are live.
Patches, good night.
My dear brother Jamdown, good night.
How are you?
I am peaceful, man. Yourself?
I am fine. Patches, from since you leave the port here, some kind of things happening up there. And I don't understand what's going on with the controller customs. But it is sounding sweet. I met a lady from St. Paul, said she's sister sent a barrel. Now, we don't go past 4 months past this December, you know, and the thieving thing still going on up the port, giving the country bad name. You know, the controller custom got a boss where they're listening to people. I don't understand what's going on in the government, you know. I really don't understand what's going on in the government. You got man up there troubling the poor people in Canada and nobody doing nothing. You got a controller, you got a second man in charge, you got a third man and a fourth man. When the hell they ask don't come in the ear and explain these things to people? It's wrong. I work up the port for years. Them things don't go on like that. Nobody ever going to treat poor people Canada like that. You man tell me, his sister sent 3 bottles of peanut, cashew nut, and the child all together and gone it all she tuna. And them things is wrong. Them things is wrong. And I wanted the Prime Minister, you know, put McZeely up the port, put her back up there with keys. She have no call in the Attorney General office. The girl got more skills than a lot of them who I see up there. Then I understand the custom work. This ain't a friend business, Mr. Prime Minister. It's not a friend business. Do the right thing, man. What the hell are you about? That girl was leaving from the port, from the farmer administration. All because of politics, because she worked for you. And you got an AG office with so much skills. I see that girl hang like an Indian man over the port, been putting fraudulent document to customer all the time, make him pay $200 and something thousand. The one up 4th Street, the same thing. And she must all of them. And you got she in the AG office up and down in the envelope, carry paper here, carry paper there. Man, you come better than that. Come better than that. If Terry was around the custom, these things wouldn't happen. This is Jam Dong talking. By Patches, I say Wex here. I say by Patches, by I don't know, you know. You run the port for some years, you know, and you never had them kind of thing going on up the port, you know. The thiefing up there rampant, and you got to stop. Patches, have a good night, yeah? Have a good night. You can't feel it, no, it.
Good night. Good night as well, my dear brother Jamdown. Can hear the passion in the voice, and pilferage, as it is called, should not be acceptable at any port at all, whether the airport, seaport, or any port around the world, including St. Kitts. It's a serious matter. Call your live.
The Patches, I want to bring back up an old-time story. Now, when we had the last set of hurricane that passed through the Caribbean here, St. Martin and them all the way down to Anguilla and them will get hit hard. The people, yeah, The
You got the
people
radio
from...
on. Just turn it on.
You're saying something?
Turn the radio off, man. Turn the
Okay,
radio off.
I'm
Turn the
sorry
radio
about
off.
that. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I want the
people...
whole world to hear you.
Yeah, the people from CARICOM were traveling to these different countries and so on. The Prime Minister of Dominica stopped by here and give us $1 million. And when he reached Dominica, he had no country he owned. You understand me? And a lot of them were saying, what he give St. Kitts any money for? Because nothing happened to St. Kitts. It's just the Caribbean culture in us. You understand me? And the same Prime Minister, Honorable Timothy Harris, turned around, give him back the $1 million, and still give him $1 million of his own. You understand me? He still send workers up there. He send all kind of thing up there to assist Dominica. You understand me? That is what we are here for. So when you hear people talking, just let them talk. They talk about Christ. So me and you is nothing. You understand me? And God up there watching them, and he gonna burn them. He gonna burn them and burn them real hard. Because when things happen to them, they're gonna say, Lord, why me? But they forget what they say and do to other people. You understand me? And Patrice, while you are there in the United States, I want to let you know, you are there to represent the island and the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, right? Don't mind you, it's not in cabinet and nothing. You got more power and a lot of them in cabinet because you could meet with anybody and talk with them and make a blessing for St. Kitts and put your name on the map up there when you meet with all them other dignitaries. If you want me to come up and share the ropes, I'll come and share the ropes, okay? Don't worry about it. But you always remember that you are representing the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And everybody in the Federation, don't care what nation they say they're from, right? While they're from St. Kitts area and Nevis area, you are representing them. Okay? So God bless you. You have a good night. And I know my Prime Minister is listening, and he's going to do his best what he could do. Okay. You have a nice evening. Okay.
Have a nice evening as well. The People's King. Imagine the People's King as my ADC in New York, showing me the ropes in New York. Wow, that sounds like a great deal. Caller, you're live.
Patches.
So.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
I hear laying on my bed, right? And it grieved my spirit to hear sensible people calling in and I talk about $1 million what the Prime Minister sent to Mount Strat. Because China just help us, Japan just help us, when in no distress. But look now, St. Vincent in a distress and needed help. And because of the Prime Minister take up $1 million, you're going to tell me people won't call in and talk about that? What half they got? Huh? You come to St. Kitts anytime. We don't know when we're going to get a share. We ain't know. Look with David. Look, he got the people from America come and help us out. Because St. Kitts me well mash up. Who talk about that? Anybody call in and talk about that? Patches, as I'm telling you all the time, the Bible said, blessed is a nation who God is the Lord. And when a nation forget God, they doom. You understand? I wouldn't like that to happen to St. Kitts. I would not like that to happen to St. Kitts. People got to open up their eyes and see. Where there is right, they call it right. Where there is wrong, they call it wrong. Don't back up wrong for right. And don't back up right for wrong. Because we're going to beat it, no? We're going to beat it. You understand what I'm telling you? God hear me every day. God hear me every day. St. Kitts used to be one time a fearing nation, a blessed nation, a giving nation. The people them used to be helping one another, If you ain't got, and you have, I share to you. I pass down to other people. That's what God have us here for. Not to curse one another. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, got you, my brother. Thank you.
But thank God for life. Anyway, enjoy the evening.
Thanks a lot for your input. Sound advice, my dear brother. As we wind down tonight's programming, I'll take a few more calls. Call you live.
Yes. This is how we do it here on Straight Talk. I want the whole world out there to hear. Don't forget that our Prime Minister, the Honorable Timothy Harris, is the first Prime Minister ever paid double salary. He after year straight like that. That caller who has a conversation with both the Prime Minister paid out St. Vincent and the Grenadines this million. I wonder if she was one getting double too. She forget? I really wonder when some people does recall what they're saying. They was getting the lot of double. He's the first Prime Minister paid double like that. Come on, man. Give my Prime Minister a break. People.
Got you, my dear. It's very interesting that the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Comrade Ralph, as he's known, Ralph Gonzalez, in his last election, I think he's a fifth term, is being re-elected 5 successive elections, I think. I stand a bit corrected. And he said back then he had some unfinished business to do in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And one wonders if someone of his caliber was not in government at the time in St. Vincent, at this time, when St. Vincent is in serious crisis. But for a Prime Minister like Sir Ralph, or Comrade Ralph, he said this with tears in his eyes about the Caribbean.
I've spoken to one of the cruise lines leadership this morning, and I must tell you the way in which people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and in ordinary people and in Grenada and in Dominica, St. Lucia and Antigua have responded to put people in their homes strangers bring tears to my eyes. I love this Caribbean.
Yes, that's what the Caribbean is all about, helping each other. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you live.
Mr. Liburd, you could hear me?
I do.
You hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and
Okay,
clear.
I'm made to understand that Marsha in the hospital or was in the hospital. If she's there still, I wishing her all the best. And if I am laughing, don't let it be a problem to nobody. So shout her out to find out if it's true. I was trying to get the message to you, but nobody was answering me that I could give them to tell you. Okay.
Okay. The trust and hope that is accurate. Marsha is recovering, if in fact she is in the hospital. You know, she lost her mother just over a week ago, I think it was. So Marsha, you're a good soldier. So I know you will recover fast and come back. But I stand firm, my dear Marsha. And this, my Facebook massive, I say goodnight to Fiona, to Isilma, my dear sister, right in here. Silma Fraser, how is your good hubby? As well as Sarah Webb, who writes, you guys need to get some jingles and billboards. It has to be out there everywhere. Don't force people to get the word out. Don't force people, beg your pardon, get the word out there everywhere. All of the election billboards, get some and paint on get vaccinated and have them hung on the lampposts everywhere, I think she's trying to say. What a good idea. What do you think about that? Sarah, thank you for that input. How is Jacqueline Rock? How's the price of the saltfish now? Hope it's gone down. Saying hi to St. Martin, Alonzo Hazel, as well as Janet Manners, my dear sister there in St. Martin, Anna Trotman as well, and Emmanuel Gobaya. Manny, that's you? I'm asking about the dividends that normally being sent out in January, and the shareholders haven't been notified about the late payment when they said that the hacking was insignificant, beg your pardon, and there was no breach. This is the third time I'm asking, and it's on deaf ears, says Manny. We trust you will get a response. The vaccine given doesn't protect you from the COVID-19 because there are questions of the efficacy. I think the AstraZeneca is 19%, 93% somewhere about in terms of efficacy, effectiveness. So yes, it doesn't protect you fully, but you can get the vaccine, get the COVID, beg your pardon, if you're exposed, but you're sure protected from, you recover much faster, as far as I understand, from the CMO, and you are not exposed to death as well. You don't have to be hospitalized. But no vaccine gets you fully protected. At least you are immunized and have a high level of protection. Fiona, so Manny, Avril, and all the Facebook gang. And my Straight Dog family, I think I'm gonna run. But my time is done. It's just it's flown past 10 o'clock, and Albert Bradley is in the house and ready to go. So don't you move your dial. Albert, we want to thank you as the man in the hot seat there, making sure our communications run smoothly. In the back room, as well as Bevan Wilkinson, John James. Without these technicians, there is no straight talk. And we also want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, and as always, we want to thank you, the many callers. We want to thank you on social media, Facebook, YouTube. And I know we had some issues with YouTube before, but YouTube is back online, so to speak. Just enter Straight Talk with Ian Patches Liburd, and you write on YouTube. You can look at it on your television, lie in bed, and enjoy it. I Straight Talk family, but Straight Talk is back on YouTube, I must tell you. And there are those of you on ZIZ, who listen to ZIZ Radio in St. Kitts and elsewhere. We say thank you as well. You are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that we say A big, big thank you. We're encouraging you as well to go take the vaccine. Get vaccinated. As you heard Tom said, he took his vaccination, he got his second dose, and all it has done to him or for him is to open his appetite. You heard Dumpling Lydia Manners, right? Had a pain in her hand, and that vaccine got rid of that pain. She can now stretch her hand out and put on whatever she said she couldn't put on before. But yes, it's important that we get vaccinated, my Straight Dog family. And we know, yes, that you have a right. In a democracy, you have a right constitutionally, that our constitution protects our fundamental rights and freedoms. But democracy means much more than that. It means hope. It means believing in something greater than yourself, my Straight Dog family. And the debate regarding mandatory vaccinations or immunization reflects the underlying conflict of individual rights versus the public good. But my Straight Dog family, I also want to remind you before I leave, I want to refer to Benjamin Franklin definition of democracy. When he said this, he said, democracy is 2 wolves and a lamb voting on what to have for lunch. Liberty is a well-armed lamb contesting the vote. So don't get sidetracked by those who want the government to fail. Think about your country. Put your country above self. In these unprecedented times, in these times of complexity, these times of uncertainty, I want you to consider, my Straight Dog family, that you have to put your country above self. Many countries before have come to realize the importance, yes, of democracy, but there are also failings as well in the democracy. But it is the combination of self-governance and representative leadership that is the secret to the success of every country. And that's what we have as well, my Straight Dog family, right now under the leadership of Dr. Timothy Sylvester Harris. Thank you. I must say, as I leave, I want to as well to implore you. Be good to all whom you meet. Have the best of what's left of tonight, my Straight Dog family. And remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But you first got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. And thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Dog family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk. Don't you move your dial. Albert Bradley comes up right after this. Bye-bye, my Straight Talk family.
And from my mother's breath of life.